Ohtani expressed frustration that the Angels weren't able to upgrade the team during the season. Do you think the Angels did all they could do, or do you think they were indecisive?
I think the problem was by the time the trade deadline came, they were already pretty far out of it. So it would have been kind of silly to put a lot of resources into improving the team when they had very little chance of making the playoffs. I mean, at that point, they probably had like a 5% chance of making the playoffs. So you're going to give up a lot of your future or spend a lot of money to make that a 10% chance. That's just not a very good use of your resources. So I think that's basically what happened. If they would have played better before the deadline, then they certainly would have been more reasonable to add things. And also having a lot of guys injured. You know, Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon were both out already at that time. They just didn't look like they had the pieces there to be good enough to be worth adding pieces. So I think that's what happened. Obviously, it's frustrating for the players because they want to win as many games as they can, but you just have to look at it from the front office standpoint. And if they would have won 85 or 86 games, they still would have missed the playoffs. It's not necessarily worth giving up a guy who could help you for the next 6 years. So I think that's probably what they were looking at.
How about the opposite? Do you think they should have released like Iglesias to get some players who'd help them in the next few years?
Well, that's a very fair question. They definitely could have traded Raisel Iglesias and gotten some good talent back. It's still kind of confusing why they didn't. I think that Harry Manassian just sort of felt like they were close enough that he didn't want to just give up on it, but he also didn't want to really, like I said, invest a lot to try to make a run at it. And I think that he just sort of felt like keeping Iglesias was sort of the in-between thing that they could do. Maybe he also knows that maybe he feels like they have a really good chance of re-signing him, which is another factor that we will find out about, you know, in the next month or two. If they do re-sign him and they think that that was something that would not have happened if they would have traded him, then obviously then it makes sense to keep him. So we don't really know for sure, but until we see what happens with him, it is certainly a fair question that to say they should have traded him.
What are the chances that the Angels will be able to make significant enough upgrades to their roster so that they could be a contender that Ohtani wants?
I think they have a chance, but I think that mostly you don't really turn yourself from being a bad team to being a really good team just by what you do in the winter. I mean, you can't add enough players to go from, you know, they won 77 games to, you know, they want to win 95 to be like a team that's going to win the division. And you're just not going to add 18 wins by trading guys or free agency. What they're going to need is the guys they already have to get a lot better, and for the guys they already have to be healthier. And all those things are really, you know, you just have to kind of wait and see. They're not things that necessarily you can just say you're going to do over the winter. So obviously Ohtani's frustrated. Obviously everybody's frustrated. Fans are frustrated. But there's not just anything that you can say, we're just going to go onto Amazon and put a bunch of players into our cart, and then all of a sudden we're going to be a lot better. It's not that easy. And, you know, so I think that they certainly could add players and be better and give themselves a better chance. But if they're going to be better next year, it's going to be mostly because the guys they already have are going to be better and healthier. That's going to be most of the reason that they improve. It's not going to be because they went and signed like 3 new starting pitchers and a new closer and all these other new things. That's just not going to happen.
Hey guys, we'd love to know what you think about whether the Angels will be able to add any reinforcement or get big name players in the offseason. Please write in the comment section below what you think. We'd love to know what you think. If you were the Angels general manager, which free agent will you go after the most?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I haven't really looked at it too much. I think Max Scherzer is obviously a guy that everybody talks about. He's sort of the number 1 starting pitcher. But I also think Marcus Stroman, Robbie Ray, Kevin Gausman, these are all guys that are pretty legitimate starting pitchers that definitely can help out a team. So I think they're going to be probably shopping for a lot of different guys in that market, and we'll see who they end up with. But, you know, it's hard to say. They all have risk too. There's no guarantees that even if you do sign a pitcher for $20 million a year that he's going to be good, because, you know, Dallas Keuchel, I remember a lot of people wanted the Angels to sign Dallas Keuchel a couple of years ago, and he just did not make the White Sox playoff roster because he just pitched that badly. So that's what happens sometimes. You know, free agents by definition are older, because you don't get to be a free agent until you're a little older. And so they can fall off a cliff quickly. So you do have to be careful.
How concerned do you think the Angels are that they might lose Ohtani?
I don't think they're concerned. I think that, I mean, I don't know what people expected Ohtani to say if they just, obviously they had a bad season and he was upset about it. Everybody was. So I think there's a difference between being upset about having a bad season and wanting to leave. I think there's still a little ways to go before he has that choice. And if the Angels offer him a ton of money between now and then, that's certainly going to have a big impact on him. And it's hard for people to turn that down. That's why people sign big contracts. You know, there's obviously not 30 teams that all are going to win the World Series every year, but there's 30 teams that have a whole roster of players that want to play for them every year. So money talks to a lot of guys.
Well, Ohtani's one guy, who might not consider money as much. So that's what I guess a lot of people are concerned. Well, concerned that he might leave the Angels if they can't really, if the team can't really show that they're going to be a contender or at least, make the playoffs.
Well, the other part of that is that the Angels were not really a good team when Ohtani picked them in the first place. When we picked the Angels in December of 2017, the Angels were not coming off a very good season. They were even worse the year before. So why did he pick them then? He picked them because he was comfortable. He liked the atmosphere. He liked the people. So, those are still factors too. There's basically three things. There's how much money you're going to get, how good the team is going to be, and how comfortable you are in the environment, which is, the stadium, the geography, just the way that people treat you, all those other things kind of lump into that third thing. There's all three things. And certainly there's no reason the Angels can't give him everything he wants in two of those and promise, that they're going to try in the third one. So I think we just have to wait and see.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future videos. You can also watch our past videos from the description below. Hope to see you again next time.